Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page birthday layout. My youngest just turned 7 yesterday, so I figured this was the perfect layout. And yes, you will notice I am 3 years behind. I am documenting his 4th birthday on this layout, so I have a lot to catch up on. So I went into my stash. I usually do a themed birthday for my kids, and you will see that his birthday was Toy Story themed. And a lot of times I'll kind of go along with, Toy Story papers per se, or kind of stick with that birthday theme. I don't use a lot of birthday paper very often. So this one was a little bit different for me in regards to his birthday. I do have a Forky, I don't know what you want to call it, die. I bought it put together. It was in the beginning and you'll see it again. So that is really the only Toy Story themed piece that I have for this layout. I was kind of shocked at the photos that I printed. I print my photos kind of way in advance, and I got the one good photo that you see on the left hand page, and then I had these 2 photos that I am backing right here for the second page. And I actually asked my sister, I said, do you have any photos from his 4th birthday? Because I'm not really impressed with these photos. And she actually had only one photo of it, and it was worse than the ones I had. So I'm kind of surprised that these are the best photos from that day that I have. I only have 3 photos, and normally I would just do a 1-page layout. I guess with the 3 photos, I've been trying to get more photos on a single page. However, for a birthday, it's a milestone, and so I decided just to turn it into a 2-page layout. I have a couple of different kind of boyish birthday collections. They're both Photoplay, I believe, but I don't know what they are called. Sorry. And so I decided that I would do kind of strips of paper across the page. This striped paper here was just a scrap, but the colors matched the rest so nicely that I wanted to use it, and I knew that I could sneak it under my photos, so it didn't matter how long it actually was. So you can see kind of the papers that I'm using. I am going to double back the photo on page 1, and then I kind of left the page 2 in a cluster, so to speak. They are on the same piece of white paper. I did leave a little white space in between them, and then I am going to end up adding blue behind that as well. I decided that I wanted to kind of stagger the strips of paper across the page, so I am cutting them different lengths, and then that kind of just allows me to kind of play with where they lie on the paper. I did actually have more of that striped paper, so I did cut into that to use that on page 1 as well. I knew I wanted to use the scrap piece of striped paper on page 2 because though that was a big, I don't know, those 2 photos together was a large piece, I guess. And so I knew I could hide that scrap better, if that makes sense. So now that I have it all lined up, I will double back this and then get them all glued down. And you can see how initially I left that white space in between in the middle of the pages, but I just didn't like the way that that looked. They weren't even either, so I think that was a big part of it. So I decided to bring in the orange paper. It's on both of the ends, and I thought it'd be kind of a good way to anchor the layout. And so I filled in that white space with those 2 strips, and then really that is like the base of my layout, and once I get the photos down, I can start embellishing. And I really kept embellishing quite simple on this layout. The background, as you can see, is very busy. So I didn't want to overdo it with embellishment, and decided actually to use a cut apart for my title. But again, the layout was super busy, and so I decided to, I think, triple back it. Looking at the photo, I used white and then blue, and I think I initially thought I would just stop at the blue, but I felt like it still didn't pop enough for my liking. And before I started the layout, I did kind of go into my cardstock and find some that would match, and so that is this green here, and I left that backing a little thicker, and I felt like that really did help the cut apart pop a little bit more. I am going to pop that cut apart up on some foam tape and kind of overlap it with the photo there. There was enough room that I felt like it was okay to overlap it on the photo. You can see on page 2 there I did use a small strip of that green. I think how I taped it down, I started on both ends and worked into the middle, and I did not line them up properly, I guess. They left a little piece of white, and I didn't want that, so that's why that green is on page 2. So I have both of the sticker sheets from the 2 Photoplay collections, and decided to use that kind of banner on the top right of page 2. I love the sticker that said best guy ever, and so I decided to add kind of bigger stickers there and use that party hat. And then I am going to end up using, oh, I don't even know what it's called. Like a kazoo sort of a thing. I think the kazoos make noise. This is like one that pops out confetti or whatever. I liked that tag, but didn't want to use the words on it. So you can see that I cut the tag part off. And I decided to use that at the top and kind of just layer that, and really enjoyed that cluster. I felt like it was very simple, but it worked. And then there's where I added we'll call it the kazoo, but I don't think that's really what it is. To the cluster on the right, and that's kind of going to finish that one off. I did end up adding Forky to page 1, like he's kind of saying happy birthday. I thought that was kind of cute. It worked. And then just a simple fun cluster at the top with some balloons and just a small phrase sticker that I am going to pop up on some foam tape. I did think though that my clusters needed kind of a little accent maybe. This sticker sheet had stars on it, but not enough for kind of what I wanted to use. So I did get into my stash. I have these fun stars here. And so I kind of just add, well, 3 pretty much to each of the clusters. I had to pick out part of that star. That's why a little blank space there, I guess. And then I did just add the 2 at the top cluster. The cluster is quite busy anyways. It was kind of heavy, so I just added the 2. And I think also because it's on that polka dotted paper, which is super busy, I didn't want to add kind of even more, because the second star I added you can barely see anyways. So once I get the stars in place, I'm going to add some by Forky as well. That is going to finish off this layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.